Hello, welcome to the FPA Virtual Lounge event. My name is Stanley Philippe. As a recruitment officer, I have this beautiful kind of responsibility of promoting all the great programs that Carleton University has to offer. But I got to tell you, I am extremely excited about tonight's event. I'm super biased because we are talking about communications and media studies. This is the program I graduated from. This is arguably the greatest program Carleton has ever offered, and you all will get a chance to hear more about it, not only from the teaching side of things, but also the student side of things. Listen, this is going to be a great way for you to do a better, greater, deeper dive into what will hopefully become the right program for you. And what's even greater about this event is that we get a chance to hear from you. And so do us a favor, look for that live event Q&A, ask us your questions, because we are really here to do just that, to answer the questions you have about your post-secondary future. And what's even better is we'll get a chance to answer some of those questions live during tonight's event. So as you can probably tell, there's a lot of really great energy, because this is, I'm telling you, this is one of the better ones. And we're going to get a chance to hear again from a professor in the School of Journalism and Communication, as well as a student in Communication and Media Studies. So let's get this event started. Let's get those questions coming in, and let's have a lot of fun tonight. So let me first invite our first speaker of tonight, Vincent Andrusani. He is, again, a professor in the School of Journalism and Communication, and he's going to give you a bit of an insider look into what makes communication and media studies special at Carleton University. So the next face you're going to see is Vincent's.
Thanks, Stanley. Appreciate the intro. It's always great. It's always great doing these things with you. You're the spokesperson for our program, and you represent it well. So thanks. Okay, so my name is Vincent Andrusani. I'm a faculty member in Communication and Media Studies here at Carleton. I teach first year introductory courses in the program, as well as a fourth year course in media production. So in this very, very short presentation, I want to work through just a few ideas, and then, as Stanley said, we'll open it up for a bit of Q&A in just a little bit. So what I want to do is I want to work through. So first I want to tell you a little bit about the courses that I teach and the one that I enjoy teaching the most. The second thing I want to do is offer a couple of recommendations for success in terms of your transition from high school into university. And then the third thing, I'll just say a couple of things about FPA, the Faculty of Public Affairs, and Carleton. Okay, so the first point, what's my favorite first year class to teach and why? So there are two courses that I deliver in the BComs program, in the first year of the BComs program. The first one, it runs in the fall, and the other one runs in the winter. Both courses are mandatory. So if you end up in the program next year, we will meet. So in the fall, I teach Comms 1001. That course is titled Foundations in Communication and Media Studies. And it does exactly that. It begins building the foundations of the discipline. It's organized according to some of the many media that we use today, and it gravitates mainly around the idea of media history. So understanding the origins of our media and how they've been used across different historical moments and across different cultures. So that's the first course. But the second course that I teach is Comms 1002. That runs in the winter semester. That's called Current Issues in Communication and Media. And this one, if I had to pick, is my favorite first year course to teach. In this course, what we do is we begin learning the dominant paradigms in communication studies today, and we use these paradigms to think through a series of topics. We talk about popular culture, we talk about film, we talk about gaming, online communities, cancel culture, and environmental communication. These are just some of the topics that we cover. And this offers students a sense of some of the current issues in the field, while getting them acquainted with the sort of critical thinking and the critical approaches that the discipline is built upon. So part of the reason I enjoy teaching this class so much is because it deals with current issues in the field. It picks up on the discussions that communication scholars are dealing with today. So this is my favorite course to teach. Both courses are awesome, I have to say. Both courses are really great. I enjoy teaching them both. but the winter course, the current issues course, gives us a real sense of what's happening in the field today. Okay. The second thing I wanted to touch on is sort of suggestions for academic success in transitioning from high school to university. Now, there's a couple things that I would recommend. The first of which is a bit of is a bit kind of from the school of tough love, though I'm sure this won't come as news to anybody. And that is that you've got to be self-motivated. University is less like high school in the sense that instructors don't really monitor your progress in the same way that a high school teacher might. It kind of puts the onus on you to direct your own learning, to keep up with readings, to submit assignments in good time, and to prepare for quizzes and tests. But this is precisely the thing that it's so liberating also at the same time to have that sort of freedom. When I got to university, I realized that this wasn't the case, that there wasn't somebody always looking over my shoulder and that it was up to me. But that was exactly what was so exciting about it. And that's what made university such an amazing place, because I directed my reading, my learning. I directed my education in a way that I didn't guide it in high school. So there's that. But the second idea I wanted to share comes from it's kind of in terms of the student experience more broadly. University, and it picks up on that idea. University is an amazing experience. It's an opportunity to meet new people, to encounter new ideas, to have conversations with other people, like some of whom will think like you, but others who won't, and both are amazing. And most of all, it's an opportunity to meet new friends. So my suggestion would be to make the most of this opportunity by being open to meeting new people and to broadening your social circle. And it might seem like this is unrelated to academic success, but the two are absolutely linked. So my main idea is kind of dive into the experience and enjoy it and embrace it, because it really does, as much as you don't realize it now, mark an important moment in your life. And the last thing that I'll touch on is, so why Faculty of Public Affairs and why Carleton? The short answer is because people are amazing. You get to meet folks like Stenley and Crystal, who you'll hear from in just a second, who make the program what it is. And I'll also give a plug to my colleagues. My colleagues are phenomenal at what they do. Crystal can vouch for this, and so can Stenley, I'm sure. You know, in terms of the level of scholarship and research that comes out of Carleton's communication program, really it's second to none in the country. So you're really getting the opportunity to learn with people who are doing some really important things in the field of communication. That scholarship and the thinking that comes out of and the research that comes out of this department is truly world class. So your education is coming from experts in the field. But beyond that is that they're amazing teachers. Like, you're going to meet so many people in our school who are really dedicated not just to their research, but to the art of teaching, to the craft of teaching. And getting the chance to meet with them will be I'm sure will be life-changing for a lot of folks, because it was for me in my undergrad. I didn't do it here, but my undergrad experience was a really pivotal moment for me as I look back to my young adulthood and now my career in general. So that's my spiel, and I'll turn it back over to Stanley. Maybe he can introduce Crystal.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Vincent. You know, there's a real currency to the skills you're going to acquire in this program, and they are definitely transferable in a real setting. Now, before I bring Crystal into the mix, I want to welcome those of you who just started attending or just attended or tuned in to our event this evening. We are, of course, having a conversation about communication and media studies at Carleton, and why many of us that are on this live event are huge fans of this program. Now, I must confess, my time as a student was many moons ago, and so of course it's important for you all to hear from someone who has a bit more of a of a modern experience studying in our program. And so it gives me great pleasure to bring to the screen Crystal, who is a fourth-year communication and media studies student with a minor in entrepreneurship. So Crystal is going to share her story, and I want to say thank you to those of you who have been asking questions, and we're going to address those questions in a little bit. So please keep those questions rolling. But for now, please join me in welcoming Crystal.
Thanks, Stanley, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Crystal, as Stanley just mentioned, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about my experience as a Carleton University student and a student in comms. So the first thing that I'll touch upon is my favorite first-year class and why it was my favorite class in my first year. So I took a first-year seminar, a first-year comms seminar with the topic of archaeologies of media with Liam Young. If anyone who is thinking of taking that class, it's really great, and you'll get to know how cool Liam is. Actually, all the comms profs that I've had, they're so cool. You can really tell how passionate they are, how supportive, and they really do want you to succeed, so take advantage of those office hours. I really enjoyed this class in particular, just because it was a seminar. It was my first ever seminar, and it really pushed me out of my comfort zone, which was really cool. And I was super, super shy in my first year, and going into university, transitioning from grade 12 to first year, didn't know anyone, and then it was just really intimidating. And looking back at it now, I'm really glad to have taken that course, just because I wouldn't be the person I am today, and I wouldn't have built that confidence throughout the last few years of my undergrad. So the next thing that I'll talk about is what I wish I knew coming into university. And I think what I wish I knew was the different resources to building my career, which played a very big part in throughout my undergrad. So it really helped with all these resources. They helped me jumpstart my career. So through these networking events, the career fairs, conferences, panel discussions, even the career services on campus, they're really great. They offer resume and cover letter help. I've been there many times to revise and revisit my cover letter, which really helped with applying to the co-op, because our program offers that, which is also really great. And it also, some other off-campus resources is also FSWEP, which is basically an Indeed for undergraduate students. So that really helped with jumpstarting my career as well. And the next thing that I'll talk about are the extracurriculars that I would recommend you to join in first year. So shameless plug, but the Communication Undergraduate Student Society, which is the club for our program. I'm also repping their merch right now, so we have merch, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so this club is really great. It allows you to build relationships with your profs, so it's really great. Going into university, when you go to the CUS events, it helps you build that relationship with your professors for your upper year classes. So that's really great. It also allows you to network with other comm students in your year or upper years. They have a mentorship program, which is really great for to get to know the ins and outs of comms and just being a Carleton University student in general. And they also host workshops for branding and how to build a LinkedIn profile. So that's really cool as well. Another extracurricular that I would strongly recommend are the cultural clubs on campus. I feel that Carleton has a really strong cultural presence. So I'm part of the Filipino Student Association on campus. So, and with these cultural clubs, you don't necessarily have to be from that ethnic group. just because like we want to promote inclusiveness with everyone. So even if like you're really supportive of a certain cultural group, like feel free to join. Like they'd be more than happy to have you on. I know that we are. So it's really cool to like network with other people who are from like your ethnic culture and to know of these like professionals in the community as well. There's also opportunities to like collaborate with clubs from other schools and nonprofit organizations in Ottawa, which is amazing. It's really cool to see like the outcome that can happen when you like collaborate with like on and off campus clubs. So yeah, just think of it as like CUS, but you get to meet more people from your own culture. The next thing that I'll talk about is why FPA, the Faculty of Public Affairs, and why Carleton. So the Faculty of Public Affairs, like as an ambassador, this role like allows me to, it pushes me out of my comfort zone again. It builds leadership skills, and you're basically the representative of the faculty and the program. You get to meet and mentor first and second year students, which is also really cool. Again, meeting many different types of people, which is all part of the university experience, and you get to show them the ropes. And lastly, why Carleton? So there's co-op options not only for there's co-op options for this program, but also other programs. But that's the sole reason why I chose this program, because it does have the co-op. The food choices at Carleton are some of the best. I'm really into poke bowls, which is like sushi, but in bowl form. The library, I absolutely love the library. The silent floors allow me to focus, and there's lots of study spaces on campus as well. Again, we have really cool like cultural events, and our school also has tunnels. So another really great thing about our campus. Our school also has like quite a few like entrepreneurship hubs. So if you're really into like innovation and really into like Shark Tank or Dragon's Den, stuff like that, we can definitely turn your idea into a reality. And then Ottawa in general is just really, really cool. We're really close to Gatineau. In the winter time, you can skate on the canal. We have winter festivals. I'm just really hyping up Carleton and Ottawa right now. But it's true, like there's so many like hiking trails. In the fall time, it's absolutely gorgeous. The campus is beautiful. And there's a lot of shawarma places and like local restaurants in the Byward Market. So it's just really great to be in this space and to be in Ottawa and at Carleton in general. So like Vincent said, make the most out of your experience in Carleton and in the Ottawa community as well.
Now, Crystal, I'm going to keep you on screen because there are a couple of questions I think you'd be really great to answer. First, you referenced co-op a couple of times, and there was a question of whether or not there was a co-op option and where can students work. So maybe you can talk a bit more about your experience kind of navigating co-op at Carleton and then through the Communication and Media Studies program.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Sorry, I think that was a two-part question. What was the first part?
Yeah, so I mean, you answered it already. Like, is there a co-op option? And there is. That's one of the reasons why you selected Carleton. So maybe talk a bit about how that process worked for you in terms of kind of getting your co-op experience started and where you were able to work with your co-op placements.
Okay, yeah, for sure. So I started applying for co-op after my first year. I think that's one of the requirements. I think you have to complete a certain amount of credits before applying to co-op. And then there's a course, like a 4-month course that you have to take with like modules. And then once you complete that, so for me, after my first year, that's when I applied. And then in my second year, I took the course. And then the summer following that is when I started looking for my co-op placement. So I secured one with Health Canada. There's a lot of like government openings for co-op, which is really great. It helps you like get your foot in the door for like the different departments in the government. So I know there's CBSA, which is like the Canada Border Services Agency, Health Canada, which I'm currently working for right now. I'm in my co-op placement until next semester, so it's like an 8-month type of thing. And then, yeah, there's so many other different departments in the government that you're able to apply to, and they'll have, it's like just think of it as like Indeed, where they have like the openings, and then you would upload a package including your resume, cover letter, and your record of grades, which is basically like a report card. And then, yeah, I hope that answers the question regarding like how you would get into co-op.
Yeah, it definitely does, and it definitely speaks to the advantages of being in Ottawa. You know, some of the places you reference, you know, Canadian Border Services, Health Canada, and so on, they're located in Ottawa. And so we definitely encourage students who are considering Carleton and considering communications to apply to co-op. You definitely can put it down as you're applying, coming into university, or like Crystal did, apply for it after your first year. Those are two kind of different entry points that are available. So great success for you, Crystal, to be able to get those placements and to get that experience. One student was asking about a day in the life of a Carleton Communication Media Studies student. So if you are, you know, and maybe we can think about this pre-COVID, you're on campus, what's a day filled with classes and interaction? What's it like? Paint that picture of your typical Carleton day.
Okay, for sure. So I guess my day would start early in the morning, 8:30 class on the train. The train's also very convenient. It's currently like in construction right now, but hopefully when we go back, it'll be, it takes you like right onto campus, which is really great for when you like when you're out of residence and you're finding like off-campus housing. So that's very convenient. But yeah, go to class, and then that's like, it'll take you from like 8:35 to like 11:25-ish, and then assume that I have a break in between. I would go to the library up to the silent floor because it just helps me focus. So it's really great to just like grind and get part of like an assignment out of the way, or like finish a reading, because university can get very busy. So you just take every chunk of time you can get to finish, you know, readings or like a paragraph of an essay. So it, like, those breaks in between really help. And then let's say I have a class between like 2:35 to like 5:25, because it's usually like a 3-hour lecture, or it could be like a 2-hour lecture and like a discussion, like a 2-hour lecture, 1-hour discussion. That's usually how it goes. And then after that, it's home time. So I would take the train back home, and then I would make dinner for myself. And then the rest of the night would probably be studying, or if I accomplished like a lot that day, then I would probably take the rest of the night to just relax, self-care, because that's important too. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, and yeah.
I love it. Now, before we bring Vincent back into the conversation, there was another question about the writing elements. You talked about being strategic with your breaks. How much writing, either formal and or creative, do you usually do while you're in the program? So have you found it to be a very kind of writing intensive program, or are you doing other things as well?
Yeah, so honestly, it's very manageable, and it's fair with regards to like the work that is being demanded of you as a student. In first year, it was just because the jump between like grade 12 and first year, it was just like, whoa. I have to do all this writing and reading. The reading in first year is definitely like the foundational knowledge that you need. So try to do your readings as much as you can. I know it can be really easy to lose track of it, but it's definitely important, and it sets the foundations for your upper year classes, so it's important. But yeah, in terms of writing, it's I guess it's like it's not as bad like compared to, let's say, I don't know, like political science or law maybe, because I know their writing like is, I don't know how they do it, but for comms, like I think it's a very manageable like workload for what you're signing up for. And not only do you get like writing assignments, but you also get like creative assignments as well, which is really cool. You get a break from like the writing component. And some things that I've done in my third year courses, I've made a podcast, which is really cool. I've made videos for like a research project as well. So you get to dive into different forms of media, which is really cool. But yeah, it's nice having that like balance of both like writing components and creative work.
Yeah, the creative outlets are amazing. And as we bring Vincent into the screen here to kind of pick up on what Crystal was talking about regarding the writing component, when you are designing your classes, you know, are you intentional with the level of writing or the amount of kind of writing that's required in that first year? How do you kind of piece that puzzle together?
Yeah, it's a great question, Sten. So in the foundations course this year, for the first time, I'm kind of integrating elements of media creation. So students are not only writing, but they're also creating some media as well. So for instance, there are 3 major projects that students do in the foundations course. And the first of which is kind of like an op-ed piece, something that they would produce for the campus newspaper, the Carleton. So that's almost completely writing. Okay. The second assignment that the students produce is an infographic assignment. So I get them to develop a poster for a particular campus service or a particular club on campus. And to kind of write a short reflection piece about it. And then the third, and that kind of corresponds with the print media sort of module that we look at in the foundations course. And then the third and the final section of the class deals with electronic media. And in this section, I get students to create a vlog and to submit a written reflection on it as well. So there's this element of media creation that I've been experimenting with in the first year course. And so far, from what I can tell, in the first year foundations course, from what I can tell, it's been quite successful this semester. So likely we're going to see it next September as well. In the winter course, which is the current issues course, that's going to be heavily geared toward, I wouldn't say writing per se. It is writing. I mean, I'm going to ask writing, but it's actually media analysis. I want students to be able to dive in to particular media and to critically unpack it and to tell us how it works. What is this media doing? Who created it? Why did they create it? And what are its effects on the audiences? How do audiences read that media, whatever the media might be? Likely, students are going to be writing, so that's going to come together in a major essay, and students are free to pick whatever media they'd like, and it's likely going to be gravitating around a television show of their choice. So students really like that assignment. Although it's completely written, students really like that assignment because they're able to select what it is exactly they write about. It could be their favorite show. So yeah, I would say there's a bit of balance in first year. There's some media creation. There's a good bit of writing in the second half, and writing is a skill that is absolutely crucial to communicating, and so we do that.
Now, are there ways for students to specialize as they kind of move forward within the program? There was a question about, not having the concentration. And so how can students really do a deeper dive into topics that speaks to them?
Yeah, I think there is a specialized stream in global communications that we offer. That's part of the program. I wish I could speak more to it. Sadly, I can't, but I think that would be the one and only stream, like official stream, that we have in the department. But I can say this, like as is the case with any undergrad program that you might choose, the higher you move, so as you move from lower division, first and second year, into upper division, third and fourth year, you're going to have the chance to really tailor your program. If you have a look at the course schedule for our program, you'll notice that there are, as you move up through the program, there are more and more courses that are offered. And so if there are 3 or 4 first year courses, there's going to be 5 or 6 or 6 or 7 second year courses. And when you get into third and fourth year, there are like 20 or 30 courses that are offered. And so you have the opportunity to begin tailoring your learning and your program according to your particular interests. So if you're more interested in, say, for instance, questions of culture and identity and race and ethnicity, then you're going to be able to figure out a route through the program that allows you to do a deep dive into those topics. If you're really interested in sort of media industries and the economy and sort of finance and how communication sort of works in that realm, then you're going to be able to work through that stream as well. So there are a lot of options that are open to you. And if you're really interested in media creation, in sort of media production, you'll notice that there are like 3 or 4 at least, maybe more, maybe 4 or 5 workshops, media production workshops at the fourth year level. So getting your hands dirty and actually creating more media is also an option in our program that you can do later in the later stages of the program. So my suggestion is to kind of have a look at the course schedule, have a look at sort of the available courses, and you don't have to do it now, but it'll just give you a sense of all of the breadth of options that are available to you as you climb through the program.
Now, I mentioned earlier that that you were a professor in the School of Journalism and Communication, and so there was a question about the difference between journalism and communication media studies, two excellent programs. How would you differentiate the two when students are kind of looking at these two options?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I think journalism does a really great job. The program and the skill of journalism does a really great job of preparing you for that specialized sort of career and service. Journalism, the program will kind of ready you for a career precisely in that realm, right? In journalism. To some degree, I'm sure, I don't teach in the program, and they do kind of operate on different levels. So the communication, the comms and media study side and the journalism side are two really distinct streams through. And I teach in the comms and media study side. So what I can say about the comms and media study side is that our focus is like journalism is included in what we do, but it's not in any way definitive of the scope of what we do. So in comms and media studies, you will see questions of media writ large. So we take up questions of the history of different medias, the medias as industries. We deal with social media. The news figures into what we do. Journalism figures into what we do, but it's not exclusively what we do, right? We do a lot, our sort of, our take on communication and media is a lot broader and maybe more comprehensive than what you might find in a maybe more specialized program like journalism.
Awesome. Now, we are currently living a global pandemic, and hopefully all of our listeners are staying safe and staying healthy during these times. How has COVID-19 affected the the current year, the fall term, in terms of how classes are being run and what type of kind of changes or pivoting the department has done since March, really. Maybe speak a bit more about that experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's been a challenging year for everybody, and I think that comes as no surprise. We're not doing classes in person, which also probably comes as no surprise. We're like most universities. In fact, I think like virtually all universities in Canada, we've been operating online this year, which has been a change for everybody. It's been a change for students. It's been a change for us as instructors. It's asked us to approach what we do very differently. And this year has been a bit of an anomaly in that regard. So how does it look is the question. I've adapted my courses to be delivered, both my fall semester foundations course and my winter semester current issues course, adapted them as best I can to be delivered online. And as far as I can tell, it's going better than expected. It's going quite well. And in part, I think I attribute this to the discipline that we study. We do media studies, right? If anybody was well positioned to make their courses available online, it's us. So what I've been doing, and as someone who teaches and who does media creation, I've been developing media content for my students that looks and feels like other media platforms that you might encounter like other educational platforms that you might encounter online. I've taken a lot of cues from platforms like lynda.com, which is LinkedIn Learning. Now it's LinkedIn Learning. From Masterclass, which is advertised all over the place. That platform where Martin Scorsese teaches film or whatever. I'm no Martin Scorsese, but I mean, when you take cues from what those platforms look like, then I can deliver the content in ways that are really familiar to students, and they seem to be really working quite well. And not only that, also influencer style videos. If you've ever wanted to learn anything, chances are good you've typed that search into YouTube, right? If you want to change a tire on your bike or fix the plumbing or whatever, type it into YouTube and someone's going to show you how to do it. And so there are really good. These platforms are really great educational tools. And my classroom, in a lot of ways, picks up on the language of the internet, right? On the language that exists already on the internet. And if I teach media studies in that way, then all of a sudden this becomes a really new way to deliver this thing we've been doing in class for the last 50 years and so that's kind of what my online classrooms look like. And I think a lot of the students in the first year this year have given me fantastic feedback in that they're really enjoying the media content that I'm coming up with. And a lot of them say it's their favorite class because it's a lot of the things that I'm coming up with are really engaging, and I think I found a lot of success in this way, in spite of this year that's really different than all the rest.
Yeah, and like you said, I think this program is really well suited for pivoting and for being able to adapt and really kind of learn about it and also dissect what's happening in real time. Crystal, I want to bring you back in just for a second because this question is pertinent to you as well, being that you are a current student. So maybe you can share a bit of your experience. I'm not sure if you are taking any courses right now because you're doing co-op, but either from yourself or from your friends, what's it been like, studying during this global pandemic?
Yeah, so I'm currently taking one course. Just because with co-op you're pretty much working like full-time, so they recommend like maximum taking like one course on the side. So far like it's manageable. And in terms of how things are going, I mean it's definitely like something to get used to just working online, doing school online, just like as someone who prefers not taking online courses, it was I guess this was my practice round before doing my actual 4th year next year, just like all school. So it's definitely a game changer there, and it's something to get used to. It's really important to like make a schedule to like have your breaks in between, like when to do your readings, when like your classes are. So it's just really important to have that and to try your best to stick to that schedule, because you don't want to like burn yourself out, because I know it's really easy, like especially now, like it's close to the end of the semester, so I know a lot of my friends, like it's been really tough, like just because I'm not experiencing like a full course load right now, like it's been really tough, but I know that our profs and like all our other like students, our friends, like we're all gonna get through it together, and it's just really important to you know, like be there for each other, and it's really nice to have like really easy access to like office hours, so that helps a lot too.
Well, thanks for that, Crystal. And I think it's great that you're being so honest and vulnerable. And I think that one of the reasons why we're so proud of Carleton is, I mean, the main reason is our students and students like yourself who despite, you know, many challenges and different obstacles are still, you know, putting a smile on our faces, on your face as well, and are willing to put in the work and to make the most out of any situation. So a big shout out to you for being awesome, for being yourself. I want to, if it's okay, to bring back Vincent, because there are a couple of kind of rapid fire questions I think you'll be able to tackle as we get towards the end of tonight's event. And I want to, again, really thank everyone for all the awesome questions and the awesome feedback. Vincent, someone said, I really want to take your class. And I think there's an easy way to do that, and that's by selecting Communication and Media Studies at Carleton as your program of choice and enrolling in that first year, because you'll be teaching that class, correct?
You got it.
All right, so definitely do that, and I'm sure Vincent wants to see you in class as well. Okay, so there's some questions here that maybe you can give a quick answers to. One, does Communication and Media Studies include marketing?
So does it include marketing? We don't. So yes and no. I think we discuss how marketing, how media is used as a marketing tool and a channel for marketing. We don't necessarily teach you how to market. So we don't do advertising as something that as a skill set. We don't teach advertising as a skill set. We teach how media is used as devices for advertising. And we talk critically about that. We want to understand how media work. This is the center of this is our aim, right? We want to know how media sort of create the world that we live in today, and how the world that we live in today is created in part by media and through communication, right? So media is an important part of that story, but we don't teach how to leverage media for sort of commercial purposes per se.
The next question is about the technical construction of the program. Is there both an honors and a general degree option for Communication and Media Studies?
Yes, I believe so. So these technical, I'm looking at some of the questions here, some of the technical questions. I wish I was better suited to answer them. I can tell you exactly where and from whom we can get answers, and I can kind of give you my best answer in the meantime. So the question was, sorry, Sten, what was it? Can you do?
Yeah, so I can help out with these as well. So
great.
Right now, communication media studies is designed as an honors degree, and what that means is, you're going to be able to really kind of maximize the full extent of opportunities, skills, and classes that will be at your disposal within your degree. And it also allows you to do things like, combine honors, where you can, combine a main topic of study with your communication and media studies degree, or a minor, like Crystal has a minor in entrepreneurship. There are other minors, like a minor in design. There was a question about double majoring in communication and media studies along with our media production and design program. That's not available right now, but that minor in design is a really great way for you to kind of up the design kind of skill set to go along with, that really great critical analysis and understanding of the designing of the virtual world, the designing of media conglomerates and platforms. So these are really awesome skills and tools you can get. In terms of exchanges, are exchanges available for students that are looking to maybe travel, obviously post-COVID, in year 3 or year 4?
Again, another technical question. I'd have to check in with. There are a couple folks that we can get in touch with. Paul Washa being one of them, and Pam being another. And so I'm sure they would be able to provide those answers. I'm fairly certain that we had students who were abroad as we hit COVID, who had to, I believe, get back as a result of it. So I'm pretty sure we had upper division students who were abroad at the time. Forgive me for not being able to respond to this. I'm fairly new in the program as well. My first year was last year, and so I'm still trying to figure out the terrain here.
No, it's all good. I'm putting you on the hot seat, and
no,
I apologize for doing that. It's a fun exercise to kind of see, what questions are out there, and also how we can, start to build the type of degree and experience that students are looking for. So yeah, so I think you did a really great job again of painting that picture of what communication media studies is all about. As we get towards the end of tonight's session, are there any kind of last advice or last thoughts that you want to share with our audience?
So the first would be, for any of the questions that I wasn't able to answer, get in touch. We're going to get you those answers. The second would be, I hope to meet some of you next year. I really can't say enough good things about this program. It's my second year here at Carleton. As I said, my colleagues, the faculty, are truly second to none, and the students are phenomenal, like Crystal and others. Crystal made mention to the Undergrad Student Society. That is such an amazing organization, and I would encourage any new student coming into the program to at least sort of get a sense of who they are and what they do, because it's really important stuff, and it's really great. That'll help you transition into the program. So I guess I'll kind of leave it at that. I'm really looking forward to meeting a lot of you next year, and hopefully some of you end up in the foundations class.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Vincent. Thank you so much, Crystal, for really sharing your story and for giving us a really great insider look into what is, again, a really special program for me and for a lot of the students and staff that are at Carleton. I hope you enjoyed tonight's event. We really love the fact that there were so many awesome questions, and again, please keep those questions coming. We'll keep our Q&A open for the next 10 minutes or so. So if you have any other questions for myself, for our team, for Vincent, or for Crystal, we'll be around to help answer those questions. Again, big shout out to all of you for tuning in to tonight's events. I hope you got exactly what you were looking for, which is a bit more of an understanding as to what your future may look like, and keep in touch with us. We've got a lot of amazing events that are happening throughout this month and into the new year. But until then, I wish you all a very safe holiday season. We are almost in that holiday season, so please stay safe, stay jolly, and we hope to see you at Carleton next year. Thank you so much.